Hi everyone. Welcome to another session of MBA Pathshala. And as you all who have attended, you know that we in first session in part one we studied sentence related to sentence correction only, but in the type was that we need to replace the underlying part. In this one, we're gonna study the second type of sentence correction questions. Now, before starting off the question, I would like to remind you that we have started with a 45 days CAT marathon. So, which is basically gonna be an online workshop series where you learn how to solve high level difficulty level questions. Excuse me, and how you can solve those questions in minimum time, because sometimes it happens a lot when we can solve the questions but we take a lot of time. So how to solve the question correctly and with minimum time, these are the certain things you're going to learn in this 45 days CAT marathon. And obviously we're going to cover all the topics. You can just have a look at how this particular marathon schedule looks like till the day you appear for the CAT exam. Okay, so in previous one, as I'm just reminding you once again that we studied that a sentence was given to us and a part was underlined, and we have to find the most appropriate replacement of that. Okay, now the second type of question which you can see is looks like this, where you are provided with 4 or 5 sentences and you have to identify which one is incorrect. Okay, it means you have to identify that which sentence is there which is grammatically incorrect form. Now the error can be related to punctuation or tenses or parallel construction or modifier or anything. Okay, one more thing, there will always be many a times there will be an option which says no error. That makes the question a little trickier one. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's start with our session. Okay, so this question is given to you and we need to identify that which one is the wrong sentence. Okay, whether it is A, B, C or D. Now, starting with A, irregular and sporadic practice of yoga. Okay, makes sense. Would not yield desired results. And the patient may have taken a very long time for his cure, or he may not be cured. Okay, so when we read the particular sentences given to us, what we see that the intent meaning of the author is that the author wants to say that, you know, that we are talking about present time, that if the person or the patient is not regular, or the person is not uh, excuse me, is not punctual in practicing his yoga and going for those exercise and everything, he may not come with the desired result. Okay, whereas sentence C says that may have taken, which changes the meaning of the sentence entirely and moreover makes it grammatically incorrect as well. When I say may have taken, it means I'm talking about past, the probability, there is some probability of an action which took place in past, that if this situation was not looks like this, in that case situation may be something else. If this had happened in the past, then the outcome will be perhaps well a situation. Okay, so if we translate this, here I'm saying may have taken, it means abhi action has completed in a very proper manner. But what we want to say, we want to talk in present time, that and the patient may take a very long time if that person is irregular. Okay, we want to say you need to be regular if you want to yield desired result. So in that case, you have to be regular. Otherwise, you may take a very long time. So may have taken is absolutely distortion of the meaning of the passage. Okay, it is absolutely providing us with the wrong meaning, and moreover it is grammatically also somewhat not making sense. So the correct one will be may take. Have should not be there, neither past participle form of the word. Okay, so my correct answer is C, which is having an error. So grammatically my C sentence is incorrect and hence becomes my answer. Clear to everyone? If you guys have any question, you can ask it. Okay, proceeding to next question. On the one hand, yoga therapy cures more deadliest diseases, and on the other, it creates so much energy in men that he gets protective shield, which keeps diseases at abeyance. Okay, or no error. Okay, no options of no error at all, because here in the very first sentence, I identified that we have used more and deadliest together. Either I can use a superlative form of the word itself, or I can use more or most. I cannot use two superlative forms or comparative form at the same time. First of all, it is saying deadliest, which is superlative. It is saying more, which is comparative. Okay. More, comparative, most, superlative. Deadlier, comparative, deadliest, superlative. Okay. So first of all, it is comparative and it is superlative. And anyway, even though यहाँ पे अगर most भी होता, suppose we assume that instead of more there will be most, in that case also I cannot use two words which is indicating superlative or comparative degree together. Either I can say deadliest disease or I can say more deadly. I cannot use two superlative forms at the same time. It will be absolutely grammatically incorrect. So never ever use this. Many a times you must have heard in daily conversations, or many a times when you heard this informal or general conversation, in that we sometimes use to show, the level of seriousness, that how we feel about something, that she is most deadliest. This is something you must have heard, but grammatically it is absolutely incorrect. Okay, so the biggest hurdle what you're gonna face during your sentence correction error is the language you guys are speaking nowadays, because we have come up with a new kind of language known as convenient language, in which we don't really pay attention on grammatical rules, but we go more by that which one sounds more trendy and which one sounds more out of the box kind of language, and which one is more easier one to say. Okay, so that's why do not pay attention on that particular language. Do not go by solving the question keeping that language in your mind. Many a times it will happen to you that correct sounds incorrect to you and incorrect sentence sounds correct to you. Reason is gonna be that only, that you are so much habitual and familiar of listening and speaking to that grammatically incorrect language. So one advice which actually works for every student, and one mistake which every single student commits, is going by the sound of the sentence, that it doesn't sound incorrect or it doesn't sound correct. Never do this. If you have a proper logic, go by the logic only. If you don't have logic, I'll advise don't go for the question. It's better to skip it rather than going by the sound, because many a times whenever you go by the sound of the question, sound of the sentence, chances are really high that you're going to end up getting the wrong answer. Okay, so here comes our A as my incorrect sentence and correct answer. Next, a study by the University of Agriculture shows that indoor plants can reduce fatigue, cough, and sore throat, and other cold-related illness by more than 30%, partially by increasing humidity leveling and decreasing dust. No error. Okay, so in this, first one is absolutely correct. There is no error in this. Second one is correct too. There is no error. Third one is grammatically absolutely correct. In D1, it is not basically grammar, but the usage of a word, that is leveling. We are talking about the level. Leveling and level are two entirely different words. Humidity level, when we are talk about the basically the measuring criteria of humidity, whereas leveling basically when, see, this is there, when I have to level it, this is leveling. Here we are talking about the level of humidity. This is meter, low, mid, high. These are levels. So level of humidity. This. So that's why D is basically incorrect, not grammatically, but the usage of word which we have used incorrectly. Okay. So the correct one will be level, not leveling. Okay. That's why D will be my answer, which is grammatically again incorrect, because somewhere we have used ing, it means continuous form, in a wrong manner. So somehow it is related to grammar only. If you guys have any question, please come up with it, okay? I'll take it at the end of the session. Next. Hearing loss restricts a person's social life along with making him feel isolated or lonely, which are risk factors in cognitive disorder like dementia or no error at all. Now, first of all, when I say hearing loss restricts a person's social life, if your social life is getting restricted, it means what is happening? That you are all alone. There is no one for you because your social life has been restricted. So using along, it means we are adding some additional factor. But what information along with is bringing is isolated and lonely, which already described by saying restricted. So along with here makes no sense because it is not bringing any additional information, but simply description of what here already mentioned. Okay, so if restrict is already given to us, it makes no sense that we go by along with. It is absolutely grammatically incorrect because along with supposed to bring in additional and new information with it, but it is not bringing any additional or new information, but simply the description of sentence A. Okay, so that's why my along with doesn't get justified in B sentence, looking at the information it is bringing with it. So that's why my answer will be second. This is grammatically correct. This is grammatically correct. Second, not my answer. So my correct answer is B, which is grammatically incorrect. Clear to everyone? Okay, it will be level, not levels. We are talking about level, one particular level of humidity. So it cannot be in plural. So it will be level, not levels. We are not talking about multiple factors of humidity. So that's why it will remain to level. Any other question? Next. People with hearing loss often struggle to decode sounds, which may along the years burden their brains, making them vulnerable to hearing loss. Okay, so here we are talking about, that a person who is suffering from, or struggling with hearing loss, and, he struggles decoding the sound, which is happening which may along the years burden their brain. Though the correct one will be, excuse me, sorry. Okay, so it is not happening along the years. It is happening over the years. Okay, so here along is again incorrectly used. I need to say that which may blank, let's assume this as a blank, the years burden their brain. So here we want to say that as time goes on and on, so the problem person is facing, it actually increases burden of their brains. Okay, so and it happens over the year. It is not happening over the night. It is not happening in a day, but over the years. एक साल गया, 2 साल गया, 3 साल गया. So eventually what is happening? The burden on person's brain is actually increasing over the years with time. Okay, so along, it means with time. It means, suppose 1 year, so same amount of burden in first year also, in second year also same amount of burden, in third year also same amount of burden. But what we meant that with time it is increasing. That first year may maybe thoda kam tha, second may it increased, third may it increased even more. So here the correct one will be along. It should be over, not along. वो साथ में नहीं जा रहा है, वो eventually बढ़ रहा है. That's why C will be the answer. Correct, Lata. Your answer is absolutely correct. C1 is incorrect. It is over the years, not along the years. Next. Perhaps health experts suggest avoiding full-fat dairy products. Research researcher says that since trans palmitoleic acid is found in dairy fat and can reduce risk of diabetes by almost 3 times, it would be wise to consume dairy foods in moderation. Okay, E option, no error. Now, here comes perhaps. Perhaps brings probability of something. Here, what we want to say, here we are actually talking about contradict information that experts suggest avoiding full fat dairy products, but researchers also believe that it can reduce the risk of diabetes. Okay, so we are basically coming up with contradict information. So whenever we talk about contradict information, perhaps is not the correct word to use. Okay, perhaps is mostly used for showing the possibility of something. So the correct word should be whereas. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So perhaps is incorrect. It brings the possibility. Excuse me, just excuse me for my throat today. So whereas although is the most appropriate word, because we are actually talking about the contradict information which is bringing. Although experts suggest that we need to avoid dairy products, but at the same time there are researchers who are showing that it actually helps in reducing the risk of diabetes. Okay, so that's why perhaps is not the appropriate word, but we need to go with what? Although. Any doubt? Any doubt, any question you guys have, you can come up with it. So it has to be although. Okay, reason? We are coming with contradictory information that despite health experts are suggesting this, still it reduces the risk of diabetes. Okay, so this is the kind of question you guys may expect in your examination, that is NMAT and SNAP and other state level exams or specific exams. So I'm waiting for your questions if you guys have any in case. Okay, so like in previous session, I've already told you, but I'm repeating again that whenever you want to go for sentence solving collection, you need not to read all the 300-400 books के pages पढ़ने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है कि बहुत सारे books इकट्ठा कर लिए उनका पढ़ रहे no need to do that at all you need to do is you need to focus on certain topics only. By focusing on certain topics, you can easily come up with maximum number of questions. Okay, again repeating the topics, that is tenses, modifier, subject verb agreement, parallel construction, and punctuations. Okay, so these are the topics you can practice, and you can actually solve on the basis of these topics only. You can actually solve maximum number of questions. Okay, so I hope you guys have gained at least something from this session, and you guys have gained certain idea to a level that how you can proceed for solving sentence correction questions, and how you can identify by looking at the sentence individually and connecting the meaning of every single sentence. So by the time, thank you everyone. Keep practicing.